So, being a master manipulator at their own game is a very interesting process because you have to be able to recognize that you are being manipulated as it's happening. I think to some degree, I would get so upset that I was even being manipulated that I was like, okay, you want to do this with me? I'll play this with you. Right now, I will tell you this as the relationship stands, I am the one with the power. The man doesn't know that I know that, but I know that I know that because this is same script, different cast. It's the same pattern over and over and over again. And when you're dealing with a manipulator, you will find that the patterns tend to be the same. The tactics are pretty much the same. So anytime you're dealing with manipulation, it wouldn't matter what it looks like. There are similar tactics used to be able to accomplish that manipulation. Okay. And so in this case, this was a situation that I had, like I said, I was fully aware that this was the attempt of this person. I think again, me not wanting, certain me kind of being one foot in and one foot out really helped me and not just being one foot in and one foot out, but also having experience with this, right? I say that I'm a Pisces. I really blame it on being a Pisces, but the reality of it is, I'm not an easy person to manipulate. A lot of times, people don't know that I go along with situations to see where they're going to go, right? So I may go along with a situation, right? Just to see how far you're going to take it, whatever the reason would be. A lot of times, if you think you're getting away with a level of manipulation with me, you can bet your bottom dollar. I already knew that manipulation was going to happen prior to, right? I already knew that this is what you were going to do. I knew that this is the person that you are, that this is what you were this is what type of time you're on. But I don't always speak it. And I do speak it. Like if it's starting to impact me, like let's say, okay, you lied to the cashier. Okay, one thing. You lie to me, and I'm like, okay, now we got problems, right? So I'm the kind of person where if it doesn't really impact my life, I don't really say anything. When it starts to impact me, when it starts to affect me, now you're going to start hearing me talk. And the more you choose not to listen to me or adhere to what I'm saying to you, and with the more that I care about you, oh, you're going to hear my mouth. You're going to hear my mouth. And I'm not a girl that's gonna sit here and acquiesce to this notion that men try to flip back on women, talking about, oh well, I can abuse you, I could talk to you crazy, I could treat you any old kind of way, but if you snap, if you break up, if you do anything, then that's a problem. No, no. If you disrespect me, and a lot of times a manipulator thinks that you don't know that you're being disrespected. A manipulator thinks you don't even know what's going on. They think you're stupid, hence why they try to do what they do in the first place. So for me, I'm always the girl that when I do say something, I'm gonna just call it out for what it is. Don't and I'm not nice. You see what I'm saying? I'm the kind of girl that I know in the beginning of the relationship, right, where I would just be like, you know what, okay, you want to keep playing games with me? All right, we're done. It's over. I should have walked away. I should have walked away. Like knowing what I know now, I would have never flirted with fire. I would have never played with it. I didn't get burned, but I'll tell you now, I'm walking away with nothing, right? Nothing from this relationship. Just and it's not even a lesson learned because a lesson was already learned. It's just I guess the lesson for me more is listen to me 100% right away. Don't ever try to give anybody the benefit of the doubt. And I think that's what I was trying to do. That's what I was trying to do is give the situation the benefit of the doubt, despite everything in my bones telling me this ain't it. That's why y'all would see me do videos, and then I'm like, okay, well, because we would talk about it, but a lot of the back and forth was manipulation. It was more, I'll say what you want me to hear, what you want to hear, so you can do what I want you to do type shit. And when I find myself having to fight for what I want more than just being happy, that's crazy. When I'm fighting hard to get my needs met and then at times being told my needs can't be met, it's crazy. Like I said, it got to a point where even with the little things that he would have a little bit of leverage over, I'm having to intervene and quietly take those things away from him. Like I said, the car. It would have been it was a nice gesture. Like, imagine, do you know, okay, this is what, and I think this is what bothers me about the circumstance too, right? Is because I don't know that men know, but then again, I'd be thinking like like I said, I told him there's no way you could love me. Like, I don't know what in your right mind would make you think that I would believe that you loved me. You understand? If How can I say this? He has a daughter, right? For example, daughter needs a car. He's got two cars, and I always try to replace it with the daughter because you would think that the person would have empathy, if not for anything else, his daughter, his own child, his own flesh and blood. So I'm saying, you let your daughter use that car. Or let's rewind it. If there was a dude in his shoes with his daughter doing that to his daughter, how would you feel? How would you feel? So why would you think it's okay with me? And why would you think that I would think it's okay with me? So instead of depending on him for a car, that anytime he got mad, and to me that's immaturity. We're in a relationship. We've been doing this for a while. We in this for the long term. It's immature. But okay, if you want to keep taking the car, like I told him, I said, do you know how that's gonna make me look at you? Like, do you even care about how this relationship go moving forward? Like, you gotta really think about that. People do things without thinking about the consequences of those actions. So when you look at me breaking down today, if I went through every scenario that I had gone through with this individual, the average person would be able to be like, damn, I understand. I definitely understand. But this person, because they're so manipulative, it's almost like it's just normal to them to just naturally manipulate. They pretend that they don't even understand how it could happen. See what I'm saying? So you take the car from me. Now I got to go get my own car. So instead of being my savior as my man, me being able to save a little bit of money, you're putting me in a position where it's fight or flight mode. Like, I got to be stressed out about whether or not I'm going to have a car the next day or not. That's a problem. That's a problem. As my man, you're the man. You have the ability to solve the problem, but you're gonna take the solution away, like it's like a cat and mouse type shit to get what you want instead of just doing the right thing in the relationship and me love you a lot more because you did this thing for me that really helped me, right? Or, and I say these things because these things matter. I don't ask you for much. So if I don't ask you for shit and you see that I'm in need of something, and you have the power to provide a resolution to that need or solve that need and then you take away that resolution whenever you don't get your way, that means it was never genuine to begin with, right? So I could either, as a woman, I could either beg to get that car from you, I could cry, I could scream, and I might do that anyway because it's hurtful. It's wrong of a person to even move like that unless y'all are really done, right? So I could be that way. I could do all that, or I could say, you know what? That's cool. You want to keep being like this? I'm gonna give you the opportunity to do the right thing. You know, you the man. You want to feel like the man in the relationship and all. All right, once, twice, maybe three times. All right, cool. I'm gonna just go get my car. I'm gonna just go get me a car. I'm gonna just say, you know what? Fuck it. I didn't really quite want to spend the money. I was hoping to be able to save because I need this money because I got a kid. But you know what? Since you're playing games with me, I'm gonna just go get a new car. That's what I did. Just went and got a new car. Fuck it. Why not? Now that takes his ability away to control my transportation. He was pissed off. No the fuck well. You wanna play with me? Okay, I'm gonna take your little play toy. You can have fun with it. I'm gonna laugh at you. I'm gonna let you do what you do for a little bit. When I get tired, I'll just take it off the table. Next, what else you got? Oh, well, now you owe me this money, just pay me back when you can. Okay, cool. Do you want to spend the night? Nah, I'm not really trying to spend the night. Okay, now the money's due right now. All right, bet. I own my own business. It's tax season. Here's the money for the glasses. Boom. But just know, I don't never want you offering to buy me shit again. Leverage taken. Okay. So you're mad that I don't want to spend the night with you. And so even though we agreed to take me to go put money down on a table, you're gonna take me home because you didn't get your way. All right, bet. Cool. Well, I'm gonna get online and I'm gonna order for that table to be delivered. That table got delivered. It was set up. Now I got my table. Bet things and moments that could have built our relationship, built our connection. In a normal relationship, these things would have been bridges for connection. Meaning, like, okay, so you take me to go get my table. I get my new table. I'm so happy that you took me to go get it. Now, what do you think how that comes off on you? Like, how do you think that translates in the relationship? You took me to go get my table. You knew I needed that table, boy. And you took me to go get it. You helped me out. We moved it. How do you think that translate? Do you think that's a positive connection or does that lead to a negative connection? Or would the man, okay, you're not coming over to my house tonight, so I'm not going to take you. That leads to negative connection. That's just what it is. This ain't rocket science, but it is for some men. So over time, anything that he tried to use that had control over my life, like it's one thing if you want to manipulate and do what you do, but I'm not waiting on you. Meaning that I wasn't finna be waiting on this damn table to come into my house. Nigga, I told you what I wanted to do. It's my money. You don't do shit for me. I'm not gonna wait. You feel what I'm saying? I don't have to. Now, does that mean that if we're in a relationship and we're gonna go move into a home together, right? And you tell me hold off on making that purchase right now, for whatever reason we could benefit and you explain it and I see that we can benefit from me holding off on making that purchase, I'll hold off. But that's not the dynamics at hand. Our lives are very much separate. You know, the whole thing about engagement. Okay, I'm gonna get engaged to you, but the moment I start talking even about an idea of what I couldn't even discuss the very idea that I had in my head for a wedding. Do you know how magical that moment is for a woman? And I'm not coming at you about when is a date? When can you pick a date? You need to pick a date right now. That's not how I'm just thinking of, hey, I'm just trying to even start at the basics. What would I even want my wedding to look like? What does he want? I can't even have those basic conversations without attitude being disrespected and told to enjoy the engagement. 5 months down the line, we still enjoying the engagement. No real conversations had. Outside of the fact that I found out, things about finances that I had knew a little bit, but now I know a lot, and I'm like, I'm not meshing my finances with somebody who don't got their finances together. As an accountant, I'm not finna be signing off on shit. You better go to one of them big firms. Go have fun with that one. Ah, shoot. Financially, you don't even got yourself together financially. And again, to the average person, it's like, oh, he got cars, he got this, he got that. But if you understand how finances, taxes, and the IRS work, you understand that that shit don't matter. I'm not signing my name with nobody whose finances is fucked up. Period. You understand? To me, it's even less attractive for you not to have the things that you have and your finances ain't together. That's a problem. It's a red flag. It's a big red flag. So you not only did you use the engagement as a way to just keep me stuck and keep me as a placeholder, but you're not even really truly ready for engagement at all. That's a problem. That's a problem. So when it comes to manipulative men, my biggest thing is I already know the bullshit. It don't matter old or young. I will say that it's harder as they get older to be able to counteract certain things because men who are older have a little bit more experience, whereas a younger male may not. Um, but while in the relationship with this person, while trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this relationship, I was constantly combating manipulation at every turn. I think the biggest thing with manipulation is knowing you got to know that they're manipulators. You got to know when you're being manipulated. And then really stay true to that understanding because manipulators are very hard. They're very good at convincing you that they're the ones that's right and you're wrong. So really trying to make you feel like your reality is not real. And there's a lot of people who do that out there because the accountability portion of things, for whatever reason, is very difficult. And like I told this person, when he was trying to when he recorded me breaking down and cussing him out and shit, right? I said, you're over here telling me that I don't take accountability. And one thing about me, I'm very honest. I have no problem telling you if I cussed you out. Like, I have no problem admitting, because if I did it, that means that I'm fully aware that I'm doing it, right? However, the issue is not me not being able to take accountability. It's me not apologizing. You're wanting me to apologize to you. Those are two different things. Accountability is me saying, bro, this happened. I did this. Yes, I did. That's accountability. Being apologetic for it is something completely different. And I think that's where men have shit fucked up. A lot of times women have no problem taking accountability for the things that they do, meaning that if I'm in a relationship with you and I cuss you out, I'm not gonna be like, nah, I didn't cuss you out. Nigga, I know I cussed you out. I cussed you out for a fucking reason. So how dare you turn around and tell me, oh, you didn't take accountability because you cursed me out? What? No, I didn't apologize to your ass. That's really what you mean. And a lot of people think that a woman, like in this case, this man would try to convince me that me breaking down and going off on him is the same thing as him cussing me out and calling me a bunch of bitches after I took him to Five Guys, bought his meal, my daughter's meal, and my little sandwich. I wasn't really that hungry. Okay. Bought everybody food. Okay. I don't feel good. I made it clear I don't feel good. This man go off doing whatever the hell he want to go do. I'm in the car with him, but he's not taking, I'm thinking I got the food. Let's go straight home. He gonna stop everywhere else but taking me home, knowing I don't feel good. All right. I've communicated this many, many times. Right. I don't feel good. I get home and I done been called bitch after bitch after bitch after I was cursed at so many times it was ridiculous, right? He ate the food that I paid for, by the way, but cursed out so many times, told to shut up, sit in a woman's place. This happened 3 days before I broke down, before I just lost it. I was just like, you know what, fuck everybody, right? This man will try to convince me that my experiences with him are not an excuse, is what he told me, to have the breakdown and really say everything that I wanted to say that was on my chest that I probably had been holding in and just sick of it on him. And in my mind, I'm thinking, yes, it is. Just like I told him, yes, it is. But for him, he wants to isolate the situation. He wants to isolate the moment to try to say, see, you were wrong. That's why he recorded me. See, you were wrong. Without understanding how psychology works, right? Abuse, a person reacting to abuse, that's different than being the abuser. Meaning that you push me to a point that pushed me to a point, meaning that you were such a fucked up individual, right, towards me, that it caused me to fucking lose my shit. I know that's hard to sink in for some people, but that's what that should be. That's what it is. But these men who are manipulators will try to convince you that no, I should be able to treat you however I want to treat you. And you shouldn't react because that's not part of being a woman. No, it's part of being human. It's part of being human. So and where I screwed up is I should have removed myself. Okay, so this is where women, a lot of us get it wrong. Is when we do feel like that, it's time to leave prior to. The problem is though, I have so much going on I didn't even know that my body has been under stress, right? I have not had time to really check in with myself to know that my body has been under a lot of stress. So when I broke down, it was more of me, like it was almost, I was kind of like, what the hell with me? Because I ain't broke down like that since golly. So for me, this was even a wake up call for me to have to look at myself and be like, what the fuck is going on with you? Not saying that I was right or wrong, but just more of what the fuck? Like, where'd this come from? Like, why are you stressing? Like, what's going on? Like, more of having to check in with myself. I had to do what my man was supposed to do but didn't do. You know what I'm saying? So I had to do it for myself. And I came to the conclusion that this relationship for me is just it's too much. It's too much. Like I work too hard. Like I make to be fair, I am a fairly successful woman and to have to acquiesce to a man that don't even appreciate me. That's crazy. I'm not doing that shit. So I done put this relationship on the back burner. And I will say this, even with looking at it now, like I don't know where I'd be. I say that having your own really helps dealing with men, manipulation, relationships, because the biggest feeling that I feel, and it does change the game a lot, is my life does not change whether this person is here or not. That also says a lot. However, for the sake of the conversation, it's a level of relief in knowing that, damn, you didn't get me. My finances ain't fucked up because of you. I ain't losing shit because of you. You see what I'm saying? There's a level of relief there. Especially when dealing with a man that's like this, because that would have been the intent. Like if I was on shaky ground or I wasn't solid, it's rough dealing with a man like that, because that man, especially if you're not strong, that man will have the power to kind of shake your foundation. And if you're not ready for it, boy, you will lose everything you have behind a relationship, behind that man. And not even that man will move on like he didn't give a fuck, like he didn't know what happened. So that is part of it, but I also think having a mental mind, um, being able to walk away is key. I will say that's a big thing, is being able to walk away, but I also think that comes with having a strong mindset when dealing with these kinds of individuals. Um, my situation, again, it was more like, okay, let me see where this goes. Let's see. Right. And I kept playing, like curiosity kills the cat. I kept trying to, let's see where this goes. And then, where we're at here now, Um, but at the same time, it's not, every woman does not have the ability to walk away, and or the man's mental state may not be proper for the woman to just get up and walk away. So the one thing that I implemented, well, I didn't know there was a term for it. I just know how to deal with certain situations. And so for me, once I realized, okay, this ain't about to change, it's getting worse. This ain't gonna be the relationship for me. Like the recording me thing when I was vulnerable, that's not cool. I don't care. Like you're stronger than me, you're my man. Like you should have been that ain't cool, man. If anything, you protect me. You know what I mean? You don't do shit like that. So for me, that was really the last straw for me in my relationship. Um and knowing that I made a plan to be able to pull away from this individual, right? Yeah, I'll still be cool with you. All right, cool. I mean, not cool to where I'm chopping it up with you and telling you my personal business. But if you text me, I'm not going to be rude either. I'm going to give you a hi or a text here or whatever, but I'm going to go about my fucking day, right? I'm not about to be putting too much into the relationship. And when I had told AI about it, because I was like, this is what I want to do, AI was like, perfect. Just, to be able to make it seem like Because what happens with these kinds of individuals, if I start doing that and just based upon my experiences with him and the things he's told me, if I start pulling away and giving one word answers, he's going to lose interest, right? And he's going to go find somebody else to do whatever he want to do with me to them. So the manipulation portion of it, it was like, okay, I'm going to take back my energy, my power. And like clockwork, dude got disinterested quick too. I'm thinking like, nigga, I was your fiance, so you couldn't have wanted to been married to me for real, because I've been ghosted for like 4 days, y'all. And the dude is like, well, I deserve better. You're over here being silent on me and all this extra shit. And I'm thinking, you have no idea all this shit's being done on purpose, right? To get you to decide this ain't a good relationship for you. Like, it was cool to be able to be on the other end and just crack up and be like, this is exactly what I expected to happen. So, um, Pisces are masters at every sign's own game. And I think a lot of people mistake us for fools because I'm very reserved, right? I'm not going to always let you know what I'm thinking, right? So a lot of times you think you could play me or you can manipulate me or you could lie to me and that I won't know. And that's the problem with a lot of people. I'm not a challenge for you to try to conquer because I'm a win. This ain't when it comes to me. The only person conquering me is me. And that's a fact. Okay. So I think, like I said, in my experience, I think having your own is a stepping stone, right? That's the foundation to be able to deal with any sort of man in any sort of relationship, period. Right. But then two, because you have your own, for me, it was the ability to be like, girl, I look around, I'm at my house, I'm like, everything you did that. My dining room table, I did that. My car, I did that. My house, I did that. Everything I do every day, I did that. You feel me? So when I look at it from that aspect, it's harder to really accept the bullshit that's coming my way, because it's like, nigga, I'm a boss. Like, I mean, you are too, I guess, but like, I'm a boss too. And realistically, even if you try to tell me I'm not, my life says otherwise. My own physical reality that I created for myself. Nobody handed this to me. You understand? I created this from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? So hell yeah, I'm looking at my shit like, nigga, you can't tell me nothing, nigga. The fuck? You know what I mean? And I'm only looking at it because, see, from when I'm in the relationship, I'm submissive. I could be the girl that plays the role. That's cool, whatever. But when you start disrespecting me and you start showing me that you don't give a about me, nigga, all bets is off the table. So dude ended up, he's still texting me now, trying to get me to change my mind. But I told him eventually, I played the card like, yeah, I'm sorry. You felt that way and all this extra stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm like relieved. I've said this so many times, like what I needed to be done got done. We're done. Now you think it's your idea, so that means you should leave me alone. But really, he ain't trying to see, because it was all a bluff in the first place. But whatever, that's another conversation for another time. That's that manipulation shit. But me, I'm looking at it like shit. You said you want to be done, we done. Nigga, you ain't gotta tell me twice. So having the strength to know it's not even about knowing what you deserve. It's about knowing when to walk away, right? Knowing when a person doesn't respect you, when a person doesn't care for you or really truly care for you, because a person that cares for you moves different than a person that doesn't. And a person that's trying to manipulate you don't care about you. So, with that understanding of knowing that you don't care about me, and I've known this, that there's not one time in the relationship where I've been like, oh, you said you cared about me, but you don't. Like, I say that shit to get what the fuck I want, but it's not like a shocker, right? It's not something like, oh, I really believed you cared about me. No, no, I probably would have woke up with everything gone. No. Another thing I did was pay attention to everything this man says. I remember him just talking the other day. It was like a couple weeks ago. And he was talking and he was letting everything out. And I was like, wow. I remember thinking, like, he's really vulnerable right now. Like, he's sharing like a lot of shit that I didn't really quite know. And I really wanted to be like, why don't I know this? Why am I just finding this out now? But I was like, see, pick your battles. Okay. And I'm listening to him talk. And I remember saying something to the effect of, because he asked me something. And I responded with, no, I'm just listening. Just, I'm just deciphering what to do with the information is all. I'm just listening. Like, really, I think I was thanking him for opening it up or something like that. I don't know. But I did let him know, like, I'm just listening, you know, hearing you and determining what I need to do with the information. I told him that. That information only helped my stance on, hey, this ain't working between us. And it's hard, when anybody, first of all, it's very hard for me. And maybe it's because I am a little bit arrogant in certain ways right now because this money for me is kind of new. So it's very hard for me to respect somebody that will talk about my finances, but I make more money than them. You see what I'm saying? My finances are cleaner than theirs, right? It's like I know again my value in this dynamic. I know that the person that is the most valuable in this dynamic is me. That's another thing. I'm looking at economics. I'm looking at what would be the reason someone your age would be with someone like me. Then I look at his reality and my current reality. When I look at it, it's the exact same. Only difference is this man is older than me. So for me, that automatically disarms anything that he's trying to throw my way. It discredits anything that he tries to say to me off the rip. Off the rip. Because you're nowhere near better than me, but you're trying to talk like you are. It's important to recognize your worth, know your value in these situations when you're dealing with these people. Don't let them convince you of who you are. Like, I don't work too hard to allow some person to come into my life who can't even be honest with me to try to tell me about me. Let that sink in. That's wild. So in my case, I was a woman that I didn't feel like I wasn't ready to just put the hatchet. It's like, for women, for me, it was more like, okay, when I want to be done, I want that feeling of I'm done. Right now, my ego is in the way. And that's a different conversation for another day. But my spirit had to be like, you know what, I'm done. Because there's no amount of guilt tripping that you'll be able to give a woman when she's in that space of being done. So for me, the easiest way to do this was to kind of pull back, However, this man is so possessive at times that me pulling back, even the slight motion of me pulling back, was an automatic reason to end the relationship. So while I felt kind of like, really, you're mad at me, like you ghosted me for 4 days, even Mother's Day, right? And I guess I'm a little offended because I feel like as the man in the relationship, like, why are you moving in a manner that's not honorable and integrable? And I know, again, men try to act like they're equal to women, but the reality of it is you want to be treated like the man, but you're not leading like the man. Like I told him, I said, you wanted to hear from me, you could have called me. You didn't call me. Oh, well, I called you and your number. Well, if you call me block, if you call me private, the number is going to be blocked, bro. You got a key to my house, right? You could have came to my house. Like, there are ways to get a hold of me. You could have planned something like, hey, do you want to go grab a bite to eat? You could have checked in and been like, hey, is everything okay with you? I haven't heard from you. You didn't do none of that. So miss me with the nonsense, right? Like I'm not falling for the BS. So a part of me was kind of hurt because I felt like you just got done telling me you want to spend the rest of your life with me. And ghosting me was the way in which you handled me pulling back. Now, me pulling back was because no amount of words that I've ever tried to use, no matter if I said it soft, harsh, loud, quiet, it didn't change shit. So my only option is to pull back. Your only option is not to pull back, but you're choosing to pull back because you're petty, because you're immature, because you don't understand how to handle conflict. You think that meeting a woman where she's at, so a woman is being a woman, and you think that being a woman with her is how you fight that. That's fucking crazy. So yeah, I was a little offended. My ego was a little in my feelings because I was like, nigga, really? So this whole time you low key been lying to me about how you feel about me. And I said something to him. I didn't have to. He wasn't worth the words, but I did anyway. I just said it. Why not? Fuck it. I need to get this shit out. Let me get it out on you. Let me, So I like I said, I knew what the situation was, and I knew better than to get in the situation. But at the same time, I was able to buy a place. Like there was some kind of good that came out of the situation, right? But I think now when you're dealing with someone who's so manipulative, the goalpost keeps moving. There's never levels of accountability. It's always somebody else's fault, never their fault. They're just so perfect and amazing. It was just time for me to let it go. It was time for me to let it go. So I pulled back, and that caused that person to pull back too. And now the relationship is over. I don't think the person won't come back. But I will say I'm in a space now where I know for a fact this is not what I want. Not what I want. So remember, having your own place, knowing what you want, what you don't want. So having boundaries, knowing what you're worth, knowing what you deserve. And sometimes it takes trial and effort in the sense that people are going to wear masks, people are going to do whatever they want to do, right? But as long as you're aware of what they're doing, you're aware of their intentions, you can always get 3 steps ahead. My lesson learned, I will never play with fire again because the most scariest time of that relationship was when I didn't have a job, when I lost my car, and what else happened? What else happened? And then when I was starting my job and trying to prove my worth at my job, I would say that has been the most stressful time of being in this relationship because it's the most vulnerable time that I've been in, right? It's the only time where I've got to trust a stranger, well, maybe not a stranger, but trust another person to do for me the way I would do for me. So I personally, I know for a fact I never want to be in that position. I've been there, done that. Don't want to do it again. I saw the same signs coming from this person when I was down. So really the only option for me was, it was like I could complain about it or I can go take control. And I did. So that's one thing. Two, I don't care how much these fools try to convince you that you're crazy, you don't know what you're talking about, it's all in your head, you just making it up, you so sensitive, you too much. You got to know that's a lot. Period. And it's very hard. You need, if you need support system around you, people who are going to remind you that it's a lie, but either way, that's what you have to remember, and you got to move with knowing that. If you can cut the person off, my recommendation is cut them off. Don't even shit, you don't even got enough respect for me to be honest. Bye. Right? But if you can't, the next method is start to pull back. Pull back your energy, pull back your time, pull back your resources. Whatever the person is using, start to pull that shit back. Period. Allow that person to start to think that you're boring and allow them to exit your life. So let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Have you guys ever been in a manipulative situation or around people who were just, that's something it seems like they couldn't stop doing? I want to be clear too. This person, because of their manipulative track record, I think I've said it earlier, they don't have great relationships with people. Their relationships deteriorate quick. Like they're able to make a friend, but they also lose them pretty quickly because it's almost like they don't know how to be without manipulating. You know what I mean? Like that's their natural thing. That's their way of being. So let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.